We already have the best description of the Avengers Doomsday script so far. They don't know the ending, but we know the beginning.
I'll come in later and tell you everything. Hold on.
Hello, Pop Culture Society. We're back. Let's talk about Avengers Doomsday. This is the Doomsday Diary here on 4Things. First of all, I want to give you that spoiler warning once again.
The description might be correct.
It might just be a guess. The guess might be right, which usually happens too. So, if you're more sensitive to spoilers, if you don't want to know things before they happen, I thought the story was good. I think the script makes sense with everything we've already seen from what leaked and what's been confirmed.
So let's go, let's get started.
The first clue we have is the interview that Letitia Wright, who plays Shuri, gave recently saying that this time she's going to have a big role in the movie. She's going to be very important, that Shuri won't just be a supporting character's sidekick like she was in the other Avengers movies. So we can conclude that Shuri is a key part of this story. Why? Because it's Shuri who first discovers the initial signs of incursions happening, of irregularities in the multiversal fabric. Of course, Doctor Strange already knows this is happening, but Doctor Strange left with Klee to do other things.
And Wong might have a clue or two along with America Chavez, who's a multiverse specialist, but they're over in Tibet dealing with something else.
And then Shuri is the one who says, wow, there's an incursion happening. The world is going to end. Realities are colliding. We need to do something. And since Shuri Wakanda has good relations with Taloka and Namor's land, things start to fall into place.
And what does Shuri do?
She calls the Avengers. She calls Bruce Banner, who is the great scientist. She calls Wong, who already has more clues about the story. She calls Captain Marvel. And all the Avengers gather under the leadership of Sam Wilson, Captain America, who is already bringing the team together. So the Avengers gather again around Wakanda to decide what to do about this new threat, which are the incursions. That's why this whole cast was together where? Over there in Bahrain, where they were filming. Most of the names I mentioned here were there.
And these are the scenes that were being filmed. Bahrain, in this case, is Wakanda.
And then meanwhile, while Shuri is there explaining about the incursion and all that the world is going to end, at the same time the new Avengers are in New York, and what happens? The Fantastic Four's rocket, and the Fantastic Four arrive saying, stop everything. We came from another universe, my brother, and we're here looking for our son who was kidnapped. By whom?
Dr. Doom.
And then they become friends with the Thunderbolts, with the new Avengers, and with Buck, and
Helena turns and looks at each other and says, this is too big for us to handle.
I'm gonna call Sam. And that's how the three teams, Thunderbolts, Avengers, and Fantastic Four, join together with one goal: to stop the recursions and help the Four recover the kid.
Because they think there's a connection between these two cases.
At this moment, Captain Marvel suspects that Monica Rambeau is in one of these other universes. Since the Marvels, and she really is.
Because she's over there in the X-Men world. Over there in the X-Men universe. At this moment,
it's being invaded by Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom controls the Sentinels, those giant robots.
And he's going after the X-Men.
And there's a battle. X-Men versus Sentinels, controlled by Doctor Doom. With the boy Franklin under his arm, with the personal necromancer.
And then the Fantastic Four arrive, and the Avengers and the new Avengers. And as for how the Avengers, Thunderbolts, and the Fantastic Four are going to jump to the X-Men's world, Wong remembers America Chavez, who has the power to create star portals between universes. And then the only part she's going to have is a very short one. She's practically just a plot device. She opens the little star portal and they jump through. When they jump, what do they see? Chaos, everything's going wild. In all that confusion, who do I hit? Who am I supposed to hit?
The Avengers end up there, along with their friends, the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, getting into a huge brawl. That's the closest we're going to get to Avengers versus X-Men. And Doctor Doom is watching all of it, looking at everything and saying, whoa, that's awesome. And from there, Doctor Doom, he reveals his master plan to go to the Citadel, where Loki is holding the strings of the multiverse and says to him, you serve me now, man. And from that moment on, a race begins to see who gets to Loki first. The alliance between the Avengers, with some friction from the Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and the remaining X-Men. Doctor Doom, with his personal necromancer under his arm, suddenly even riding on top of Bob, and with the Scarlet Witch on his other arm, which is another rumor going around. So that's the first part of the movie. That's what's going to happen at the beginning. That's how the groups meet, that's how they fight, and that's how they rebuild their alliance and friendship against the common enemy. It's all there. What do I think? It makes sense. It makes sense to be able to create a little story, to tie together all the leaks and characters we have, to connect the moments where each character is. I think it was a decent way to tie things together. Could it be that this is what happens? It could be that this is it. I don't think it's made up 100%. I think there are elements here that are actually real because you could tell they're in the movie. Now it could be, but maybe the combination of things and the changes in scenes and characters that are used for this, and that might change. But so far, I think it makes sense overall in general. Let's see how this movie will turn out, since we know the script is already preset. They finally finished the script, but everything can still change. While they're filming, they're coming up with things. Now they have time. Now it's only for the end of next year. The guys can still mess around with this thing for another 2 or 3 months, creating new scenes, filming new scenes to avoid leaks. Ultimately, he chooses the one he'll use. And then he leaves everyone there. Man, I thought this side was going that way. Then the insiders are talking, right? It wasn't, but then they changed it. I think that's about it, man. I think it's going to be something really close to that in the end. I think it's a good, simple, and quick way to tell this story. And you, what do you think? Write it down here in the comments. We'll be back soon with another Dutorapop. Don't forget to become a member of this channel. Members of this channel don't see commercials. You get rid of the ads here during the video by being a member of the channel. You'll get an exclusive link and you'll watch the video clean without interruptions. The ads that you usually watch on YouTube. So become a member now, starting from 2 reais and 99 cents, 3 reais. See you later, see you soon, see you in a bit, bye. And that was another piece of content from Cuatro Coisas. The channel has at least 3 videos every day from Monday to Sunday. If you liked it, here are some more tips for you to watch. Don't forget to leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell for new updates. Thank you very much. See you next time. Thank you.